Did you know Mr. Driller is actually Sans Undertale? It's Sans. Sans stands for Susumu after not surviving.
God damn it!
Live from Austin, Texas, where if we just keep digging, we're going to strike oil someday, right? It's Retro Pals with Danny and Alex. Hello, Alex.
Hello, Danny. Yes, we might. Just might.
Yeah, I got a pretty good hole going in the background. Me and Alex have been doing some amateur holing. We've been digging up the holes, trying to. Yeah, that's what they call it. When you're digging up oil in your backyard, a thing that is legal under the state Texas legislature.
That is true. It is true. It is legal.
I am all out of sorts today because this is one of the famous backwards Retro Pal streams.
Yeah.
Alex is on commentary duty, watching the big screen TV where I usually am, while I'm at the control room. I get to fuck up this week's stream all on my lonesome.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's gonna be great. Hi, everybody. Hope you're ready for a good show. We got a bunch of weird arcade games. We got a bunch of portable stuff. We got strange and wonderful games that are part of the series we all know and love as Mr. Driller. What's your take on Mr. Driller, Alex?
My take is that he's just a little guy.
He's just a little guy. I guess that's really all that needs to be said, huh? Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, you got some other stuff to say, though.
All right. First off, thank you very much, for the 38-month resub.
That's an accurate reading of that name. Good job, Alex.
I don't know who that is, but I respect your name change to make me have to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you to St. Aspartame for the 14-month resub. Do appreciate that. Oh, thank you to the Ultimo for the 300 bits, and to Sepsa19 for the 100 bits, and thank you so much to Seraphis Kane for the 25-month resub. Oh, thank you.
Many months. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so let's get to the show. Oh my god, how do I do this? Okay. Yeah, that looks normal. Mm-hmm. And then, what do we usually do here? Like poll results?
Yes. We usually put the background up and then do the poll results.
Like this?
Fuck. That's a different...
There we go.
There you go.
It was right next to it. You shouldn't put it next to it. So this week's... I'm just shit-talking the show's entire structure, taking it for granted. I shouldn't.
You can shit talk it. When you're in the producer's seat, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, producer gets to do unlimited shit talking. Mm-hmm. That's the great part of being a producer. This week's poll theme, which we took to our patrons, was retro-oriented re-releases on Nintendo Switch. This could have gone a couple of different ways, but in the end, people voted for Mr. Driller, Drill Land. How about that? This is an old game that got ported to Switch, and it's localized for the very first time. Many people say it's the very best Mr. Driller game. They say it puts all others to shame. They say it's worthy of a re-release alongside other luminaries like Klonoa. I think Alex has a case of Klonoa. I'll let Alex recover for just a second.
Why?
Shall I mute?
No, I'm good. It's just an inopportune... The Gatorade went down the wrong pipe.
See, it's not so easy to sit in Danny's seat, is it?
Yeah, it's a choking hazard.
You immediately start choking. Are you sure you... Let's mute the microphone for just a second. Okay.
Okay, I think I'm done dying.
Alex is done dying. He started his next life. Oh, you're blinking. You're still in invincibility mode.
Oh, good. I can get a speed boost here.
God, unbelievable, this show already. And we have a MAME capture window running in the background. That's why everything looks like crap, and my commentary is garbage. Poll results, get out of here. Mr. Driller. This was a guy. He came out in arcades. He came out on PS1. He came out on Dreamcast. And for most people, that's where you started and stopped thinking of Mr. Driller. That's it. There's just one Mr. Driller game. That's it. It's cool that it happened. Wonder what happened to that little guy. Where'd he go?
Where did he go?
He went directly into Alex's lungs. He shrunk down to tiny size and started hacking away with an axe. But we have some history here with Mr. Driller. Mr. Driller actually has his roots in classic arcade games.
Oh.
Did you know?
I did. I think I knew that, but I remember there being a Mr. Driller arcade game.
There was, but this whole thing can all be traced back to 1982 with the launch of this game right here.
Oh, hey, I know this guy.
Check that out.
I know this guy.
It's Dr. Dig Dug, or Dig Dug as it was shortened to prior to release because the doctors complained.
Thank you, White Taxi, for the 29-month resub. Poison Gatorade, it's fine.
Thanks, Mr. Driller.
It's
Thank you for the
normal.
sub. Oh, this is one of those old games that's going to get really loud the second I put in a coin. So let's do this. That's Puka.
No, don't
You
do
kill
that.
him. And that's Fygar.
Don't do anything to Fygar.
Guess what you do to Fygar?
Oh,
You blow him the fuck up till he
that's so
dies.
disgusting.
Isn't it great?
No.
So this is a couple years after Pac-Man. This is the same year as the hated Mouse Cop. Namco is currently in its arcade golden age, and this is considered to be one of their absolute best from the era. What's your take on Pac-Man? I mean, Dig Dug, Alex.
I really like Dig Dug. It's really fun. I really like the frenetic action.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for sounding like a 2001 reviewer, but I do.
Yeah, those are my words. You don't get to use them.
Sorry. I
Frenetic and quirky.
Mm-hmm.
Off limits.
Okay,
Yes,
well,
got it.
he's cute. I think he's cute.
Okay, that's fair
I
to
think
say.
the action's cute, although I do feel like the explosion of these creatures is a little bit much, you know. But
Perhaps.
What can you say?
But we were hardier folk back then. We weren't so easily disturbed by the things we see on video screens.
That is true.
Nowadays, everybody is racing to cancel old Dig Dug. What's your most cancelable Dig Dug opinion, Alex? I saw this. God damn it! I'm blaming that death on Twitter because I was
Have
getting
you
mad.
seen like 5 variations of that?
Yeah,
in
just
one
today.
day?
Just
Yeah.
today. I was so tempted to go into the Discord and be like, what's your most cancelable Retro Pals opinion? But I didn't want... I was too afraid of the answer.
I don't want to. Don't tell me what your most cancelable Retro Pals opinion.
My opinion is that the Retro Pals are just one person.
Yeah,
It's
that's
either
fair.
Danny or Alex throwing their voice to two different microphones, and they both manage to play games badly in the same way. Oh, I don't even have the chat loaded up on screen here. Only Alex gets to see it. That'll change with the next game.
They're all they're they're beating your ass in the quote retweets here. But yeah, I like Dig Dug. I like the way it looks. I like it aesthetically. I like digging. I think the digging is actually really fun, and I love making the rocks fall on people. I think it's really funny.
This game makes me hungry. You know why?
Why?
Candy corn.
Do
you see it?
I do.
You're just digging inside a giant candy corn. Blowing up monsters. Getting all their innards inside the candy corn. It's less appetizing when I put it that way, but trust me, people in the 80s loved it. Did you know if you drop 2 rocks, you get a little bonus fruit? Or a cucumber?
I know now.
That's the secret.
I've been educated.
So what this did, essentially, when it came out, was it was Pac-Man, only you get to decide where the maze walls are. You get to dig your own maze underground. And you actually have a weapon here. So it's Pac-Man weaponized and powered up and ready to blow people up until they pop.
That Fragger fucking killed you.
He sure did. I was hoping to get in a decent credit at Dig Dug so you can at least see where the gameplay came from, see how it evolved over the years, because I am going somewhere with this, I promise. If you collect 3 cucumbers, Mr. Dig Dug turns into a kappa. Did you know that?
Really?
No.
here.
I'm at the point where I'm just going to start making up arcade trivia. And I'll be like, oh, it's on Wikipedia somewhere. Look it up.
Except people are going to repeat it ad nauseum. And
Yeah,
they won't...
they'll believe me.
And then they're not going to attribute it to you. So it's going to be like mentioned as a fact in like a million like different YouTube videos.
Shigeru Miyamoto said that games with kappas in them are bad, but games without them are forever. I think that's how that quote goes.
That is absolutely what he said. He also said diamonds are forever. Miyamoto, a big De Beers stan.
Shigeru De Beers Miyamoto. Man, is this the best Dig Dug credit I've ever had in my life? I've never been able to survive long in this game, and yet I think I found the secret. There's little tricks like you don't need to have the pump attached. You can unattach and reattach it repeatedly to make them blow up even faster. Like that. Boop. Bloop. I want to keep this credit going. I'm sorry. I don't get a chance to play Dig Dug very often. Oh, god damn it. Credit's ruined. Never mind. Cut the stream off. I'll just end this here. So that's fun. And you can see how that was the kernel of a good idea that they eventually evolved decades in the future. I got the highest score. What's the world record?
What is the world record?
I wonder what chance I have. When I grow up, I want to be a Dig Dug world record holder.
Yeah, Dig Dug is a solid game. It's a really, really solid game.
There's a continue feature in this 1982 game? Is that revolutionary?
You know what? Let's say yes.
Press and hold pump button. Huh. Neat. So that's Dig Dug, and that's the start of our saga. So far, Mr. Driller is not even a twinkle in Dig Dug's eyes at this moment. We'll have to see how that all resolves. And it will resolve, but first, let's take a detour.
Where are we going?
We're going to Bootleg World.
Okay. Oh, real quick, thank you to Agord for gifting a sub to Gundam Jehuti K. Welcome to the sub club, Gundam.
Yeah, welcome, and thank you. Have you heard of Zigzag?
No.
Have you heard of Zigzag on Galaxian hardware?
I am afraid of Zigzag on Galaxian hardware. I fear it. Oh shit, thank you Shaxper for the 58-month resub. Holy shit.
That is many months, thank you. Zigzag. To some people, this was Dig Dug. I don't know if that's true. I don't know where this was distributed, how it came to be, but it happened. Ooh.
Wait, okay. This is a different Zigzag than the Zigzag I was thinking of. Oh, this music.
Well, that was mostly the music. So check it out. Not only is it a bootleg, it's a bootleg that adds gameplay mechanics.
It does! Oh my god!
And the animals bleed when you inflate them.
They are bleeding! Hey, folks!
I didn't know about that part. I researched this game beforehand. I didn't know the animals bled when you... God. Always do your testing before the show, so you don't disturb your audience.
Oh god, don't crush him with a rock.
Oh yeah. Got him. Man, that was really fast and violent.
Yeah, this game is kind of violent.
I think that was the subtitle. Faster, more violent Dig Dug.
No, don't.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Oh god, it's disgusting. People in arcades would just throw up at the sight of it. See, I don't know what's up with Zigzag. There is a bootleg that's on original Dig Dug hardware. That doesn't add the gameplay mechanics, though. It's only after they downported it to Galaxian hardware that they added these little power-ups that I guess Namco forgot. What does the Game Over jingle sound like?
That's a tinkly little tune.
Look at this. I found the secret. You can play forever like this. Never spend another quarter. Arcade owners hate him. Oh, there is no Game Over jingle. It's just get off the cabinet. You're done.
Get out of here. You've zigged enough, and you've zagged.
So there's a little bit of a dark side in the Dig Dug family's past. A little bit.
A dark side.
But if you thought that was bad, wait till you see what official antics Dig Dug got up to in the sequel, Dig Dug 2. Dig Dug 2!
Oh, I think I know this. I think we've shown this off.
We may have, yeah. This was on Famicom as well, and for some reason it got ported to the NES here in the States. There was Famicom versions of Dig Dug 1 and 2, but the only one they brought over to the States was this one, the sequel no one remembers. Let's see why no one remembers it.
Duh!
He sinks entire islands in his bloodthirsty quest to kill all the Pukas and Figars. That's what Dig Dug does in this game.
100 bits from the Ultimate says Dig Dug 2 is GOAT. It is. It is. It's also, like Andy says, a little bloodthirsty there.
A little bit. Yeah, you're not just destroying the creatures, you're destroying the very land they live on. You have to do it by very carefully dividing up the land masses with those little posts. And if you do it right, you can sink them all at once.
I do like that you can set off chain reactions.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. And you can corral the enemies to an extent. Once you become used to it, this game isn't that bad. It's just... it is very different from the original Dig Dug, and it doesn't have the same feel at all.
Hey, that guy just gave you a nice apple and you killed him.
Apple was incidental.
Yeah, fair enough.
You get fruit by dropping 2 land masses, much like you get fruit for dropping 2 boulders in the original game. Oh shit. Sometimes you can fuck yourself over, though. So maybe the solution wasn't to make Dig Dug go above ground. I mean, the whole game is about digging, right? You're digging an underground tunnel. You're not doing much dugging or digging in this game, in my opinion. You're just cutting off land masses like that one gif of Bugs Bunny cutting off Florida. That's all I can think of. There's all kinds of fucked up sequels coming out from Namco at this point. There was a sequel to Mouse Cop called Hopping Mouse Cop.
Oh yeah!
That did not do too well. Other games they kept trying to reinvent. Super Pac-Man was not the hit they hoped for. Instead, it had to be the Americans who made the true Pac-Man sequel and Miss Pac-Man. There's been Miss Pac-Man news today.
Really?
Yeah, they redid her sprite in the recent arcade archives version of Pac-Land.
What'd they do to her?
They made her look different. Because the original appearance of Pac-Man is owned by a different American company. At Games, I think it is. At Games somehow got the license. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Namco News coming at you from Retro Pals. Why am I doing a radio DJ voice?
I mean, we could be radio DJ. We could, we could do that instead of playing video games.
They should do that. Like, instead of radio stations being all like the news or some shit no one cares about, just have the broadcasters play video games and yell. Mad Dog is playing fucking Dig Dug.
It's so like instead of like it's the Eagle Classic Rock, it's the Eagle Classic Games.
Exactly.
Oh, this is awful.
I'm just saying, a new niche.
Danny,
Well, that's
they were aging to the point where they're gonna start marketing stuff towards us. I've seen.
They're gonna start.
Well, they already are. Oh my God! Look at them go.
They're flying all over.
Babies.
I am the champion.
Yeah, Bob Slut. 99.5, the gamer.
The gamer. All right, we've seen, folks. What we've seen so far is the exploits. This is the big twist. Those are the exploits of Dig Dug, aka Taizo Hori, is his real name, a.k.a. the father of Mr. Driller. It's his dad we just saw the last couple of games. Believe it or not, Mr. Driller's mom, her adventures were also chronicled in a couple of games.
Cool.
In arcades. There's a whole family tree here. Let us check out Baraduke. You heard of this one? I'd be surprised if you have.
I have not heard of this one.
Baraduke, also known in some territories as Alien Sector. You're fighting to be the bravest in the Battle of Baraduke. Baraduke.
Don't forget to change your title.
Did you hear that?
Yes, I did. I'm your friend.
I'm your friend, though. I love that.
That is. Oh my gosh, you're right. The Baraduke is a goddamn Amogus.
Oh my god. All right. BBH, come on. You know this is not Amogus.
It's Amogus.
Everyone betray me. God. Okay. Oh yeah, Max Payne 1 and 2. That's gaming news. Now we're all refreshed. Now we're all refreshed on the gaming news.
Aren't those NFTs or is that something else?
I don't know. I didn't read too well.
Okay,
I only pretend to know how to read.
I love that. I love this.
First thing you hear in the game is this weird dirge-like tune, and then a weird alien saying, "I'm your friendo." There's one. They are your friendos. You want to collect these guys, because at the end of every level you get a roulette. Damn. I like that there's also lose one shield. That's a pretty good mechanic.
Your name is Kissy?
Kissy is the name up there in the upper left corner, but in fact, the character's name is Toby. And everything in the game and in the promotional material leads you to believe that this is, in fact, a male character.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to set that up.
Okay.
God damn it. Male characters can have Kissy as a name. It's totally plausible.
I think Kissy is a fine name.
Me too.
How's it play?
It's kind of a weird one. There's these really short levels. If I were to describe this game, it would be an Atomic Robo-Kid-like. But this came before Atomic Robo-Kid, so I guess this is technically a Baraduke-like. It's got this really... How do I describe this? Dark sci-fi aesthetic. Like, these creatures are not cute, aside from your little friendo.
Yeah, it's very, grim.
Mm-hmm.
Grime. It's got kind of a grime nastiness to the designs. It's like sci-fi horror.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Meat Pac-Man. There was a Meat Pac-Man back there.
Cantrip, I absolutely wish Marmaduke was part of the Mr. Driller universe.
Man, that would rule. But for when this was made, this was pretty unique. And it had a pretty solid effect on game developers at the time. I have proof. I have evidence. You'll see that in just a second. And for what it is, it's alright. This is an okay video game. Maybe one you've never played before, and it hardly ever gets re-released, because, I mean, who gives a shit about Baraduke?
This is so cool, though. I like Baraduke.
It's neat. It shows a side of Namco you don't often see. Them just kind of branching out, being like, yeah, let's make a gory horror game based on Friday the 13th. That was Splatterhouse. And then let's just make a vaguely aliens-inspired game. Baraduke.
I love this. Baraduke, you're alright.
You're a sussy baka. I'm sorry. I had to address the chat.
You're almost into that guy's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your
On
goal?
stage. Yeah, you gotta get inside the guy's mouth.
Don't like that. That was fast.
Yeah, that was a bonus stage. And now we get to fight the boss with one fewer shield. Thanks a fucking lot.
That sucks, I'm sorry.
Game's a little bit cruel. Did you know this game had bosses? And that they look like this?
Time for children to have nightmares. Cool.
Yeah, it's just a flesh wall, you know? Keep shooting at it.
It screams?
Yeah, it's a flesh wall. Of course it screams.
Did you all hear that?
Next stage.
No. No.
That's the flesh wall, brother. God. Game over, Kissy. Well, I'm going to expose the terrifying secret behind Baraduk via the medium of cheats. Let's go to the very last level.
How many levels are there? God
There's
damn.
a bunch of fucking levels, dude. I think invincibility should cover it.
Okay.
Welcome to floor 47, Kissy. This is the bonus stage right before the final boss, so I'm just gonna race to the end. Yeah, around this time they were also making stuff for Famicom. Namco was pretty busy. And unfortunately they didn't have much of a US presence until Bandai started bringing out their games. Here's the final boss.
Alright, Kissy. Oh, I don't like this.
I actually don't know how you're supposed to beat this boss, but here's a method I found. Using invincibility, you just shoot it in the eye a few times and then something happens eventually. Now it's at this point, very soon, that you find out that the character who you thought was male in the yellow spacesuit was in fact a woman all along.
Great. Hell yeah, Toby.
I wonder if anyone ever ripped off this idea completely, including the yellow spacesuit. Yeah, it still calls you a brave man. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, no game has ever done this. Not ever.
Okay, but the fact that your little friend dances and wiggles around you is so good.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Packets.
I like the packets.
I love them.
Do you look at this game and think, boy, I'd like to see more of them packets?
Yes, I do.
Let's see more packets, because there was a very obscure sequel to Baraduk, only released in Japan, called Bakutotsu Kijute. Here it is. Now this game's obscure. This one was never released anywhere else in the world, and for good reason. Yeah, Mr. Julier's mom's a fucking badass.
She's really cool.
Look who's back.
Oh, they're
Look who's
back.
getting violently murdered.
Wait.
Kind of a weird tone to set on the title screen, huh?
I don't like this.
Also, the demo's not emulated correctly, so it just kind of does this. So you can see that you're still, oh, this time player 1 is Taki. Taki was player 2 in Baraduk.
They do look like minions. Oh, that's why I like them.
Mm-hmm. They give you little, mid-stage pep talks, too. This is Baraduk 2. Whereas the first game was kind of exploration-oriented, this game is just a straight-up left-to-right shoot fest. You collect a lot of packets in this one.
They also die violently.
Oh yeah, there's a whole animation.
I don't like that. Hey.
And if you think the game's going to be any different for the next 40 levels, nope. That is exactly the structure you see for every single level afterwards. It's just a straight up left to right flight. Actually, kind of a huge downgrade from Baraduk 1.
It kind of is.
It's hard to say if anyone was really disappointed, though, because, I mean, do Baraduk fans exist? Can they be disappointed?
I mean, I would consider myself a Baraduk fan.
Yeah, what do you think of this?
It doesn't have any of the cool... It feels a lot less atmospheric.
It does, yeah, it feels more blocky. Maybe it's just because of the large block-like graphics.
The blocks do make it feel blocky.
Mm-hmm. That'll do it. It's also a little bit less complex in terms of mechanics, too. It's just this. Is there even a second button, I wonder? Yeah, Shaxbird, I was trying to make a packet loss joke too. You beat me to it. Okay, there is a second button at the very least, but kind of a disappointment. I don't really know where you could go with the Baraduke formula after that, but this is not a good place for it. Also, you only get one life. That's it. Game over. Thank you, Proxy Glitch Cat, for 38 months?
Holy
That's
shit,
many
thank
months. 1 month for each Mr. Driller game. Yeah, they made a bunch. They do entice you to continue by turning the roulette into a bonus game that you only get to play if you insert a coin. I'm gonna say no. Oh no.
That's so manipulative. I almost love it.
I got beaten by Octi and Brain. Oh, but the little thing is giving me a kiss.
Aww.
That's nice.
Kiss.
So that's the sordid history of the Mr. Driller family tree. What do you think of that, Alex?
I did not know about Mr. Driller's mom, but I'm glad to know about her.
Well, let's very briefly look at the game that may have inspired the return of Dig Dug and the evolution of his gameplay mechanics. Oh, don't worry about that being red, it's fine. This one. You can play a game out of 6, did you know? In the mid-90s, they reissued a bunch of old Namco games via these 3-in-1 arcade cabinets. These were pretty popular for a while. You may have seen one or two of them.
They were, yeah. These were everywhere. I kind of miss these. I actually prefer these to the arrangement ones you see nowadays in, like, bars and shit.
Yeah, these games have both the original versions and updated modern versions, including Dig Dug. This adds 2-player mode simultaneously, and it has graphics.
I do like graphics.
Look, it's a whole world of Dig Dug.
That looks way less like candy corn and more like...
Yeah, it looks like delicious silt.
It's very silty.
We're back to silt discussion. Silt fans, tell me what you love best about silt. Oh, they scream now.
They scream! Danny, no!
Is that the recurring element? In the next game in the series, you gotta add screaming? Oh yeah, this one also has big rocks. Check this out. Check this shit out. Gotta make these fuckers sorry they were ever born. Nice, huh?
The screaming!
Mm-hmm.
I would really like the...
Oh! Stupid wall hacks.
Sorry, but you kind of deserved it for what you're doing.
I think Dig Dug is kind of a morally gray character. I can defend that.
I mean, I used to be more pro Dig Dug until Zigzag. Zigzag really changed my opinion.
Yeah, I think Zigzag, once that came out, something changed inside Dig Dug. Something snapped. He was all like, can I be so easily cloned? Is my life really worth that little that you would put me on Galaxian hardware? Something changed in that man. He was never the same.
You'd think he would be pleased as punch that he was so popular that they were bootlegging him.
You would think. But Dig Dug has a huge jealousy streak in him. I'm not actually making that up. You'll see. You will see. Man, that was cool.
Again with the screaming.
Mm-hmm. Always with the screaming. Man, I'm just playing Dig Dug again.
and you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I'm enjoying
this.
this.
Of all things.
This is not Baraduke 2, so I'm allowed to have fun with this. Let's go ahead and kill off our last Dug.
Dan, you got a question from Jordan. Are you saying that Dig Dug is the original anti-hero?
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Do you think he smokes?
Oh, yeah. He smokes underground, which is really dangerous.
Yeah, he's...
It eats up the oxygen. He likes to live dangerously. So, 96. Few people put their coins into Dig Dug, and Namco, the gears up in their head start turning. By which I mean the marketing people, probably. They're all like, how about if there was a Dig Dug for the modern generation? some kind of some kid who is like really cool and someone who you want to be, someone you look up to, someone you want to be friends with.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of that describes your friend in mind, Mr. Driller. We finally get to Mr. Driller 35 minutes into the stream. I told you I was going somewhere with this.
Thank you, Agord, for the 100 Pride bits. And earlier, Ultimo cheered 100 bits. Thank you for that, too.
Nice, thank you.
Sorry for missing that. Oh, hell yeah.
We finally got to Mr. Driller.
We're here.
We finally got here.
It only took us 40 minutes.
This is what happens when you let Danny have control of this stream. They're all like, oh, first we gotta play Dig Dug and Baraduke. You know what Baraduke is, right, kids? I'm a big fan of Baraduke.
Listen, the kids gotta learn about Baraduke sometime. Oh, look at him!
Yeah. He's a cute little guy, isn't he?
He's adorable.
I want you to kind of half pay attention to this intro.
Okay.
Just note how everything is drawn and generally presented. Maybe don't memorize every detail, but just have a general idea of how it looks. Because I'm going somewhere. And you know you're in trouble when I say I'm going somewhere.
Alright. Shine and Era calling our man a scrimblow blimblow.
How dare you? Don't you know when the mysterious colored block suddenly appeared from the earth? It sent the whole town in a panic.
There he is.
Go, driller number 1, Susumu.
Is Susumu his name?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Got little chubby arms.
Oh my god, he's drilling the blocks. Dig, dig, and dig. Now that's an intro.
Great intro.
I'm immediately sold after watching that. Should we, now that we are deep into the stream, should we actually play some Mr. Driller?
Yes. Yes.
I think the time has come. Let us drill. Recommended for beginners. That's me. Alright, this is a genuine 1cc attempt of Mr. Driller.
Oh shit. Good luck. Everyone, give Danny your
Beginner's
hour.
mode. So even if I do this, it's like nothing impressive, but I at least want to try. Here's how you play. You drill. You don't get squished.
Oh, that squishing noise.
You can suffocate, which is horrifying. But nature is horrifying.
I really don't like that you can suffocate.
Yeah. Kind of a grim thing to put into this very colorful game. And it's also a puzzle game, because the blocks you drop can fit together and make combos and stuff. Don't be like that guy.
Do not get squished. Do not die. Got it.
Oh, how'd you get in? Mr. Driller, you're fucking up. Don't drill the X blocks. X box is huge.
You gotta go dynamically. Did you?
I'm sorry.
I no longer support your 1cc. I wish you bad luck.
I've gone mad with power. What the fuck? We're resetting that shit.
I told you. I told you.
All right, here we go. Mr. Driller, 1 credit clear attempt, first try.
All right, go. Smart.
So look at the mechanics here. This is similar in premise to Dig Dug in that you are digging, but the object is to just go as deep as possible. Just dig, dig, and keep on digging. Ooh, okay. Kind of an interesting game, because you want to drill as fast as possible, but there's a puzzle game just kind of happening above you. That's only vaguely in your control. I always kind of like that about this game.
Yeah, a lot isn't in your
God damn it.
control.
This is the agony and ecstasy of Mr. Driller. The thrill of drilling. The thrill of the drill.
I'd say you're a real driller killer.
Fucking...
It's because
No. Okay, first try, 1 credit clear. Let's go.
you were just testing the buttons.
Yeah. I was testing the one button. It's the one button video game.
Revenant says the thrill drill, Colt. I'm out of here.
I almost said that, but I didn't. I figured someone would pick up the ball and throw it.
A very hearty band chat for that.
I'm having fun this stream. These are a lot of fun games. In general, Namco's arcade output is pretty creative and fun, except when it's Baraduke 2. I don't know what's up with that.
God, yeah, Mr. Driller on DS is also... A lot of these drill games are really good. Mr. Driller, Mr. Dig Dug, sir, your son seems pretty normal.
There we go. We got to 500 feet without losing a life. I think this credit's looking pretty good. So naturally, this was pretty big when it came out. It got ported to all the different systems. I thought about doing a retrospective of all the console editions, but they all tend to kind of look like this. This being a 1999 video game, consoles could, of course, do this game 100%. This was on PS1, this was on Dreamcast. There was a Game Boy Color version. Various Japanese Java-based mobile phone adaptations were released. That's what I think of those.
Danny's off to heaven.
Yes, Danny's gone to heaven. Whoa! There's just all these little moment-to-moment things that you gotta carefully weigh the risk versus reward in your mind and be like, I'm gonna dash through. Oops, I got squished. It's a very thrilling game.
Does this level look like cheese to you?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
a little
good.
cheesy.
It looks delicious. This level makes me very hungry.
I like these levels where it's just two colors, so the matches just make themselves. Oh, satisfying color matching gameplay. Are you not satisfied?
This is very satisfying. It's like ultimate satisfying collection volume 8.
Satisfying collection. What would make a satisfying collection?
A bunch of mugs that are like lined up nicely.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Just think.
I'm thinking about it.
I'm thinking of mugs.
That seems pretty satisfying to me.
Where'd you go?
Ooh. Oh, we gotta go. We gotta fucking go.
Oh, you're a real gamer here. Game and Danny.
Alright, last floor. Let's see if we can do this.
Okay, now this looks delicious.
Yeah, this looks tasty. This is just like cotton candy. Oh no, I'm suffocating!
I don't like that.
Ooh, that turned out really well for me.
You really did get lucky. It's meringue? Okay, that's... Oh!
I don't think I can go anywhere from here, can I? Oh, Jesus Christ. Had to do it.
Sorry.
Very unprofessional on my part, I'm sorry.
Go, 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 go. You did it! You did it!
Was there ever any doubt?
Get you in the Guinness World Records.
Yeah, I only died twice in the beginner mode of Mr. Driller. Good!
Good!
Try not to make easy mistakes.
Hey, I love this game's aesthetic.
I do too. It's very year 2000-esque. Yeah, he did it. You did it,
Yes.
Driller. Looking good, little buddy. But what if I told you that Mr. Driller had a sibling that people don't like to talk about? Namco has never officially mentioned this sibling. It's like that one Treehouse of Horror where Bart has like an evil clone in the attic or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that one.
What if I told you there was an alternate universe version of Mr. Driller called Mr. Dig? Released a year later. And it runs on Vampire Half hardware. This is a Korean bootleg of Mr. Driller. There he is.
Mr. Dig, I love him.
Looking just like we know him, Mr. Dig.
I like Mr. Dig.
Mm-hmm. Everybody, what's your most cancelable Mr. Dig opinion? This person you probably just met for the first time. Now, I told you to reference the intro to Mr. Driller because, for whatever reason, they redrew it pixel by pixel for this, but they fucked up a little bit, so it's all cursed and wrong looking. Like it's at a wrong resolution or something. They didn't just copy over the graphics is what kills me. They had to hand draw this. Like, you see what I mean?
Oh, it looks like shit.
Yeah.
Oh, they fucked this up.
Let's call Dig.
Oh, he looks bad.
Mm-hmm. Susemi, that's his name.
Oh,
no.
wow.
It comes from 1,000 meters beneath the earth.
Oh, this is Garbo. I love it.
Like, why did they put in so much effort to recreate this intro? Only to have it look like this.
Magambo, I hate that you mentioned it because you're right. He does look like Stewie Griffin.
Oh my god, you're right. Invented the whole evil football-headed baby. Ugh. Well, now I'm just punishing myself because now I have to play it. Mr.
Looks
Dig.
very red.
Dig and dig to reach the goal. Let's do that. Hearing this music?
Yeah, it's a little cursed.
Now, this isn't just straight up Mr. Driller. They added stuff. There's letters you can collect. There's bombs. Do those hurt me? Maybe I'll find out. Yeah, this is a very upsetting moment in Mr. Driller history. Fans still don't know how to react. The bombs can kill you!
Oh, the way you die.
That's terrible. I wonder if this is more or less 1cc-able than Mr. Driller, the real one. Oh yeah, you really want to get away from those bombs. And that involves, like, creating a pathway...
The bombs follow.
Yeah, the bombs, you want to create a pathway above you? That's not easily done in Mr. Driller. Bizarre. Developer Sun was just like, Mr. Driller isn't tense enough.
Is Sun the Hapty Head people?
That is Sun A. I don't know if Sun is the same company. I really don't. This may have Hapty Head DNA in it.
There's a Sun and a Sun A?
Yeah, they may be the same. I don't actually know. God damn it, crushed by a bonus item.
I don't like to think of you additional items that are additional ways to die.
This part doesn't look like cheese anymore. It just looks like disease.
It looks like Alfred Chicken is what it looks like.
It does look like Alfred Chicken.
This game has a huge Alfred Chicken vibe to it now.
Getting some real Alfred Chicken vibes. What if there was an Alfred Chicken arcade game?
There isn't one because we live in a fallen world.
What if, like, instead of a Flappy Bird cabinet, it was just hacked in Alfred Chicken? If he was the Flappy Bird. Oh man. If there was a modern day Super Alfred Chicken, he would definitely have his take on Flappy Bird. You can actually continue in this one. It's not something you can do in Mr. Driller.
If they did Alfred Chicken today, they would do like a line where you could text him and he would like offer you one. If Alfred Chicken were being done today, there would 100% be Alfred Chicken NFTs.
No, you can't do Alfred Chicken today.
Oh, you can't. No.
You really can't.
What is your most cancelable Alfred Chicken opinion?
People are way too sensitive about Alfred Chicken nowadays. They just can't take a joke. God. What if Mr. Driller was more impossible?
I think that would be great.
Whoa, these.
That does not look like meringue anymore.
I want to try and beat this.
Okay.
I don't know why. Well, it's because we're doing a theme stream around Mr. Driller. That's why I'm doing it.
I mean, I can't believe you're playing this a Mr. Driller game in a Mr. Driller stream, but, you know. This is why we are the popular avant-garde streamers who everyone's talking about. Oh, you're going to die really horribly.
Yeah.
Cool.
There you go. Oh, you only get one continue. I see. You've done pretty well. Rotten hell, Mr. Dig.
Oh no! Look at him.
Had enough of this guy.
So is he Mr. Driller's brother, cousin, uncle?
No one has ever said at Namco their lips are sealed. Obviously, they're just scared. They're scared of the truth. Maybe we should be scared of the truth, too.
100 bits from the Ultimo. Yeah, good thing this isn't on Galaxian hardware.
And that concludes the arcade portion of tonight's program. Please allow Danny a second to relaunch different front ends. What are your opinions on what you've seen, Alex?
I think that Mr. Driller is a very well-adjusted son, which seems very... So he must get it from his mom, because it seems like his dad has problems.
That's a very astute observation, and everything you said will be borne out by the next games we see.
Fantastic! I love making astute observations.
Alright, I told you we wouldn't be playing all the ports, but I just want to briefly show off the PS1 version of Mr. Driller, because... I don't know, the arcade version may not have gotten much distribution where you were, so this was probably the version you played if you ever played a driller of your own. A driller of your very own, imagine.
My own drill?
Now, the main difference in this game from the arcade version is one of audio. Please pay special attention to the audio in this game. Because Namco sure did. Who's that?
Who is that?
Alright, get ready for this shit.
What?
What do you think?
What the fuck happened?
I just thought I'd put some really intense drum and bass into the middle 3 seconds of that song. What do you think? So starting with the PS1 Mr. Driller, they gave it... I can't even describe the kind of soundtrack they started to give these games. It's like a mixture of different musical styles, mostly acid jazz and break beats and drum and bass.
Acid clown jazz.
Like, listen to this.
This is acid clown jazz. Clown beats.
Clown beats.
Clown and bass.
Clown and bass.
Acid Jester core.
Acid Jester.
Shibuya-te. Okay, that's
Ooh, that's a good descriptor, yeah. Yeah, not sure if the arcade game had this soundtrack, but if it did, I sure didn't hear it.
It did not sound this good. Intelligent circus music, thank you.
Intelligent circus. But I did that just to set up expectations, because the next several games are going to occasionally have extremely hot jams. So please ready yourselves for that. Our next game... This is where it gets complicated, alright? So,
Okay.
Arcade Mr. Driller came out in 1999. Arcade Mr. Driller 2 came out in 2001. I mean 2000. And then a Game Boy port... Please stop dying of asphyxiation while I'm trying to talk here. Arcade Mr. Driller 2 only got ported to GBA starting in 2001 with the Japanese release, and then it got brought to Europe and North America in 2005, so many years later, even though it's a very early entry in the series. Let's play that.
It's another peaceful day, isn't it, Poochie?
He talks now.
Oh shit.
And now for a special bulletin.
Huh? Woof?
Wolf?
The world is
What?
being overrun by colored blocks. They are appearing from the depths of the earth. In India. America.
Hmm.
And even Egypt.
Even Egypt.
Oh man.
The world is in peril. Many cities are completely covered by these blocks.
What did he say? Woof. Looks like I'd better take care of this. Okay, see you later.
Oh, so he's not always Mr. Driller. He transforms. Like
Wait
Mega
a
Man.
minute. Keep out of it, will you? Who are you?
Who is she?
Aw. Let me handle this. There's no time to argue now. Let's hurry. Hey, wait for me!
Who is she?
Mr. Driller, too!
She is Mr. Driller's hated rival, Anna. Playable in this game for the first time. Now in arcades, the big thing that made this game different is the fact that it was 2-player. Mr. Driller 1 was just 1 player, and then the second one it was just, hey, it's 2-player now. That's it. That's all the additions. So here on GBA they had to add in extra stuff like collecting cards, and you can play as Anna. So let's go ahead and do that. And there's mission modes now.
This looks great.
You can start to dig in America, you can dig in Egypt. Let's dig in America.
Let's go!
I really like the way a lot of GBA games from this era look.
Lucky!
Often they had really sharply bright color palettes, and this is no different.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah, mostly because of the screen, I would assume. This song's pretty good.
It's good.
Anyone happen to play this when it was new? Did you import the Japanese version, or did you have to wait for the US version?
I did not play this when it came out.
Yeah, I didn't play it either. I kind of missed out on a lot of Mr. Driller. Really, this stream is just an excuse for me to catch up on Mr. Driller, so if anyone else is educated, that's just a side effect.
Lucky!
All education is accidental on this channel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you
and
learn
and no
something-
copyright intended.
If you learn something, you're lucky.
Me watching a RetroPal stream and actually learning something. Lucky!
This looks fun. Is it fun?
It is fun. It's quite good. Damn it. For whatever reason, they didn't port Mr. Driller 2 to the PS1, so if you really wanted this arcade experience in particular, you had to get the GBA version. Oh, fuck. Fuck this game. Garbage piece of crap. Driller. Fuck. Our next game.
So, how's it going?
I'm fine. Are you fine?
I'm fine. What's next?
There was a third game in the Mr. Driller series in arcades. It was called Mr. Driller G. This one was brought over to PlayStation, but only in Japan. And once I start the game, you're going to find out the secret of the mystery. What does the G stand for?
Grandpa.
You think so? Is that what you're going with?
I hope so. Girlfriend?
I refuse to drill through an X block. I will never do that in my life. I have to stick to my guns here. Yeah, it's Gex. It stands for
Gun.
Gex. It's gun. Yeah, Mr. Driller with gun.
I wish Gex was here.
Fucking anime ass opening.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you for the clip of me not being mad. It's got a vocal theme.
Hey, is that Mr. Driller? Is his dad here?
You may have seen a cameo from another member of the family.
Good. Mr. I feel bad that Mr. Driller has to take care of all of this himself.
This song's good. We're probably gonna get copyright struck for it.
Oh yeah. No way this is going up on
He's digging through the whole planet! Dig a chance.
Love this anime.
Who are all these people?
This rules.
Yep, that character standing there on the right was indeed Dig Dug. So Dad's back, and he's pissed.
He's got a goatee.
Special thanks to our sponsors, Pocari Sweat. And,
Calorie mate.
Calorie Mate. Thank you. Alex with the assist. Yeah, that's a really good intro. Namco knew how to do intros back then. The first one that come to mind is, of course, the Soul Edge intro, which was amazing.
This rules. What the fuck?
Yeah, like I said, big focus on music.
Look at this aesthetic for the menu. It's like packs of gum.
Delicious.
More candy.
We got a scenario mode, we got a mission mode. Let's see what the scenario is. Yes, what is Hajime? Dig a chance. Thank you, Ultimo.
Thank you, Ultimo.
Oh my god, they got Hanna-Barbera style title
Oh,
cards.
this is good. This is so good. This is great.
2000X 年東京世界各地で起きたあの連続ブロック溢れ出し事件から約1年
It's the
世
start
の
of the
中
big
はすっ
block
かり
disaster.
平和を取り戻し穴掘りのプロドリラーたちにも束の間の休息が訪
Yeah,
れ
this should be on Netflix.
Being hypnotized.
The dog's being hypnotized.
よし、ドリルの点検終わり。ねプチ、今日は暇だし、アンナの家にでも遊びに行こうか。あれ？
Dog's named Poochie.
プチ？プチ。
Wake up, Poochie.
You know, I've never seen Mr. Driller G before.
ひどい
It's
わ。
all new to me.
もう
Yeah, you're looking at it.
と思ったわ。
I am. Use my eyes and everything.
大げさだな。ごめんごめん。
And since you know Japanese, you could tell what the G stood for by the katakana subtitle, right? You want to tell us what that was?
Yeah, it was good game.
That's right, it's Mr. Driller Good Game.
おい、アンナ。
あ進む
いや、アンナ。
It's
Hey,
actually,
the random drum and bass starts again.
yeah, it does that. The G stands for great.
Great.
Mr. Driller Greato.
そうだなよし決めたドリラー研究所で
I would say that is a joke. That's good.
いいよ。
That was some filthy distorted bass in the background. Yeah, this one's got a story mode. Unfortunately, never got translated or released over here. This is one of the lost drillers.
ブロックシミュレーターを使ってドリラーレースがしたいのかい？
Would you like to try out our block
使って
simulator?
くれたまえ。
よし
You could do a drill
じゃあ
race
勝
with
った
Anna.
方が真のミスタードリラーということにするから
そんな。僕たちが決めるわけじゃ
I
ない
want to see
よ。
Mr. Griller.
うるさいレーススタート
His dad seems like Mr. Griller with that goatee.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, got it. Yeah, Krungo is the local Mr. Griller. And here you can see what the two-player mode looks like. There is, of course, a player versus player two-player mode, in addition to a versus computer mode. It's a little bit more cramped, but it's pretty well as a racing game. Got some Eurodance on the soundtrack.
Yes, music's pretty normal so far.
The thing the first game did, where it just brought in dramatically louder drum and bass, is something I wish every game in the series did.
Yes. I wish every game did that, period.
Like, oh, you think you're playing a cute little game? Boom, boom.
I wish more games would blast my ears out like that.
Lately, YouTube has been recommending me a video called N64 Drum and Bass Compilation.
Really?
Yeah, and I looked at that and I was like, come on, how many N64 games have drum and bass? It's like the Buck Bumble theme song and like Bomberman Hero maybe, and then that's it. No, I watched that 3-hour video and there were like dozens of games that had just devastating drum and bass tracks.
They do! Like
It's kind of unbelievable.
The N64, isn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't until it started playing the title theme from Mario 64, which was also drum and bass, that I realized, oh my god, this shit's
僕の
everywhere.
勝ちだ。
くそー、さっきのは本気じゃなかったんだ。
We beat
も
her,
う一回。自信
but
大変じゃ。またしても地底人の作ったブロックが地上に溢れ出したようじゃ。太陽君のヘリですぐ
maybe?
現場に向かってくれたまえ。
はい。
And there's a whole story mode you can go through. Unfortunately, untranslated. Maybe someday it'll be rendered in English by fan translators. I can only hope. Oh yeah, I also get that SNES relaxing music video all the time.
I get that one constantly.
It's good. I load it up just to listen to the Waterworld music. Waterworld, unexpectedly great soundtrack. Okay, where are we now? We are in 2001 on the PS1 with Mr. Driller G. The next game in the series is back on the GBA, so we're switching platforms yet again. I think this is also a Japanese exclusive. Did I miss any here? I don't think I did. I wanted to make sure I covered the series comprehensively. Yeah, I think we're good. The final GBA game in the series, well, final in Japan. Mr. Driller 2 came out later over here. You know the drill. Ha! Ha! It's Mr. Driller A.
What does the A stand for?
What do you think it stands for?
Awesome.
That's a good guess. There we go.
Hey, it's his dad. And now it's his son. Or mom. That was mom. That was mom because it had the little guy.
Mm-hmm.
What's mom and dad doing here? Oh, advance. Oh, I feel so dumb. Of course it stands for advance.
Nope.
Oh, I take it back.
Good guess. It does not stand for advance. Yeah, I think this is the same song, but this sounds really good on GBA.
It surprisingly does.
Mr. Driller fucking A. Archaeology would be a great answer. Albuquerque, Anniversary. Oh, Mr. Driller again? That could be it. Aardvark, another. Look at this, you can play as Taizo Hori in this one.
Oh, hell yeah.
So the series have become intertangled. Mr. Driller is Dig Dug. Dig Dug is Mr. Driller. Where does one end and the other begin? I don't know. Flip Flop Phil Flanders has got it. It is Mr. Driller Ace.
Oh, hell yeah.
Big win for the LGBT community. Mr. Driller is Ace. This one has racing modes as well as mission modes, or you can just do a drill. What do you think?
Do a drill. Can you be mom in this?
Let's find out.
Okay.
Oh no, you're not gonna let me skip this? Happy Ace Day, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Ace is the place for hardware. This is a block. It comes from underground. What are all these bands in the the activity column? I can see that shit now that I'm in the commander's chair.
Yeah, I usually
You can't-
hide all the bands from you.
You can't get away with that shit now. I'm recording these names. This is Undertale text sounds. Did you know Mr. Driller is actually Sans Undertale? It's Sans San stands for Susumu after not surviving.
God damn it! I'm gonna drink more of this poison Gatorade. Just because of that. If I die, it's your fault. I didn't die.
Look, it's a drill sword.
Okay, that's cool.
It's cool, says Mr. Driller. Kakoi means cool. Yeah, it's the trans costume. Yeah, it is the colors, isn't it?
This game is super gay. I like it.
Wait, Mr. Driller is already trans-colored. The flag. The pink, the blue. Now it's a Tamagotchi? Oh my god.
Oh, it looks like a little poop.
You have to raise your own little Bacterion? Let's talk to it. We're asking it if it's okay. Status. Looks good. We can give him a little gemstone as a treat.
Oh, he loves rocks.
Hey, so do you.
I do. Maybe I love this little guy. Nope, it's evolving. Oh, he's happy.
Alright, we'll just ship this off to Zebes space station and they can do some research on it. It'll be just fine. Oh, there's cards you can collect? Oh my god. So they went in a different direction with this. There's raising mechanics. Yeah, do you think it's an evolution of the packets?
They kind of are packet-ass.
They are. Evening, Rachel. How you doing? You play many of these Mr. Driller games? I've played a bunch. So far, we're finding out the way they evolved the series is through story modes and through completely insane music choices.
Very insane. I really respect it.
Whoa, he looks cool now. Look at that suit. Why'd they give him little cat ears?
He looks great. I want to look like that. I want to dress like that.
He's saying something about this being Cassandra's tomb or something, and there's a weird critter in there. Do you think you're brave enough to get the Bacterion out of the place?
Are you?
Do it, Susumu.
Oh,
my
slicing.
god, he has a sword! Holy shit, this changes everything!
This is cool.
There's also these little stones you may notice. That's a common thing with the later Mr. Driller games. I'll get into that in just a little bit. But it looks like Mr. Driller Ace is a very unique game for Game Boy. It's not a port of an existing arcade game. There's item shops.
Oh, look at that guy!
Ah! See those skills?
Slick.
Thank you. Well, guess what? In the end, it plays just like Mr. Driller. And you can die just as quickly.
Oh, you got smushed.
Ooh, the
89
remix.
miles?
That's not very far at all. Terrible run. Horrible run. Have we done all the GBA Mr. Drillers now? I think we've covered Mr. Driller's entire run in arcades, on PS1, and GBA. Ugh, so now it's time to move to Nintendo DS. This is gonna be death. Alex, cover me.
Alright, so, folks, what do you think about Mr. Driller's dog? They kind of disappeared. They kind of just went into nothingness. They were there, and now, well, they're not.
We may see more of that little doggo, that 1-pound dog.
It's a small-looking dog.
We've arrived in the future year of 2004. We're all enjoying our brand new Nintendo DS consoles, and Namco rushed the fuck out of the production of Mr. Driller Drill Spirits to release it in the United States. Wow, it actually showed up. Cool.
Mr. Driller Drill Spirit!
Hey.
Mr. Driller! Drill Spirits! It stays on this title screen forever with no music. This game was actually famously rushed. They released an incomplete version of this game in the United States, and then they finished it up for release in Europe and Japan, so that's pretty cool.
Wait, really?
Yeah, there's straight up a mode missing from this game. The Destroyer Drill is coming, so this sounds like a high pressure mode. Let's play the mission mode. There's unlockable characters. You can only play as Susumu at first. So look what this game does.
Little.
It of course uses the dual screen mechanic, but it uses it in a way that kind of transforms the game because you always want to be looking at what puzzle matches are happening above you, and now you can actually see it. Isn't that cool?
That's so interesting.
The music's still going apeshit. God damn it! I'll drill through the X block.
Sorry, honey. Being the famed X-Block hater.
Yeah. This music's kind of like it's an adaptation of one of the arcade and PS1 tracks, but it sounds kind of lo-fi. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I like this.
Lo-fi jams to drill to. That's a move.
I was gonna say I was slick.
Thank you. This new music track sounds like it's starting something up. Oops.
I was gonna say it sounds like this is some real F1 racing sports clips.
It kind of is, yeah.
Is sports clip still around?
What's a sports clip?
Sports clip is in the barber shop chain.
Oh, there's a big Cadbury cream egg down here.
Oh, that's much better than that. That's delicious looking. Thank you, Raccoon Violet, for the 28-month resub. Lucky.
Agreed, lucky. Thank you.
Yes! Cleared!
Yes!
A splendid display of drilling.
I'm feeling very good today. Nothing can stop me.
Well, that's it for practice. Keep up the good work.
Okay, sports clips is still around. Good to know.
Are these voice actors performing at gunpoint? I'm feeling very good today. I love drilling brown bricks.
Danny.
I got a badge.
Ooh, nice.
I'm an official driller now. Oh, you're welcome for playing.
I know this was rushed, but this looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's alright. But now, you want to see what we missed out on?
What did we miss out on?
We missed out on the special Euro edition of Mr. Driller Drill Spirits. Let's give that a shot.
You're right, the Ultimo. It's always great to see guys in good shape, and thanks for the cheer.
Thank you.
Mr. Driller Drill Spirit!
One more year of development. What does that get you? It gets you this. Oh, look at this! Wow, it's that mode you didn't have time for us for. I see how it is. Only the Euros get to enjoy Drillstone Driller. I hope that's not a slur. The Euros.
It's not.
Okay, good.
Is it? Sorry, Europeans. We like you. We have no ill will towards you.
I officially apologize to Eurovision. So this is an exclusive, well, not so exclusive, but we'll get to that. It's a mode where you collect little drill stones. And they're viewed on the top screen, and you can use them. And it makes various things happen.
Oh, cool.
Nah, drop it. We don't need air.
Hey, no, no. Danny.
He's fine. He'll be fine. It's all about collecting those drill stones. I can't get enough of them. Oh, there's eggs now.
Where?
I drilled one.
Don't drill eggs. That sounds like a really messy proposition.
Messy proposition.
Yes.
I see what the deal with this mode is. You lose 1% of your air for every drill you take. Every drill you take. And you restore it by a careful collection and usage of the drill stones. That's kind of neat. It's more turn-based, possibly? More strategy-oriented? If that's what you want in your Mr. Driller games.
It's the thinking man's drill.
Yeah. If Mr. Driller had a brain, it would be like this. Man, this is a cool game. Now, there was also another DS game. Let's go ahead and play that one. Are we almost at the end here? No, actually, I lied to you. This was the last Mr. Driller, portable or console game that was not downloadable. There is one final game in the portable series. It's partially... You'll see how it relates to Mr. Driller. It's Dig Dug Digging Strike. He's back. Dig Dug's back, and he's pissed.
So we're gonna see the dad?
Yeah.
Dad time.
Look
All
at
you
this.
dad fans.
You can poke it and make it blow up. I think you're gonna like this intro. Yeah, Mr. Driller. He ended the chaos in New York City. So we're live to the press conference. Everyone's favorite drillers, Susumu and Anna. They're showing us the fashion.
They're fashion models now. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Drill drink, favorite of famous driller Susumu. Now, you can't turn on the TV without seeing that damn Mr. Driller everywhere. Susumu is all they ever talk about these days.
Yeah.
I'm the first driller and the honorary chairman. You're finally gonna get to see the story of Dig Dug in the context of Mr. Driller existing. My drilling skills are second to none. Not that jerk kid of mine.
This guy hates his child.
Yeah.
I can't believe my son is succeeding. I'm so mad.
Oh, by the way, he lives alone because he's divorced.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he got divorced after he had a kid.
Did they ever explain that?
I don't know. Is this the Hori resident? I'm with the Horinesian government. May I speak to Susumu? There's some kind of block disaster, I guess. This is Taizo Hori. What's going on? Maybe I can be of assistance? I need to speak to Susumu. Listen here, I'm Taizo. I handled the Dig Dug. You hear that? There's no time. We've got to reach Susumu. No one gives a shit about Dig Dug, dude. Trying to make a fool of me? You've never heard of Taizo Hori? Yeah, he reverse engineered a whole lot of ROMs. It's cool.
Hey, Taizo Hori has emotional issues.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit. There's no need for Susumu. This will not be a Mr. Driller game. This will be a Dig Dug game, damn it. And that's the premise for this game. You're motivated by jealousy of your son's success. He replaced you, and now it's time to come back. There's Mr. Driller right on the title screen. Let's start over. That's me. Yeah, let's do story mode. We want to see more of this story. So from what I can tell, this story is about Taizo Hori trying to deal with the bureaucracy of solving a problem without involving his son, which I think is pretty good. Oh, he is the chairman after all.
He really, really doesn't want his son involved, does he?
Who are you? I heard the name somewhere. Show these jokers how it's done. So yeah, someone's turning into the Joker here. Oh, look at that island.
Is this based on Dig Dug 2?
Funnily enough, it is both Dig Dug 1 and 2 smashed together. There's valuable fossil fuels. Gotta dig that out. There's pukas in there too.
Just kill the pukas, don't worry about it.
There's too many of them.
Hey, I'm sorry to say it, but those pukas look delicious.
They kinda do. Sure you can handle it? You are a divorced dad. I took care of the Dig Dug incident. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I know how to play Dig Dug. Have you ever heard of this game before, Alex?
I had, but I didn't know anything about it.
I think this might be what they refer to as a hidden gem in YouTube circles. In that it's basically taking a whole lot from the Mr. Driller franchise while also making it distinctly Dig Dug. That's what they should have called this, distinctly Dig Dug.
You gotta get those fossil fuels, honey.
We gotta.
See, it's Dig Dug. Y'all know Dig Dug.
Oh, he was just recounting his past exploits. I wasn't actually doing anything. That's pretty good. Now look at this.
I love the art on the bottom screen a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, how... Oh my god!
Yeah, this is how they integrate the dual screen
Okay.
mechanic. You gotta go underneath the ground. And you gotta make the spikes fall yourself.
Oh, okay.
Take that, fuckers.
Oh god!
Oh, I went down with it.
Oh.
That's fine, right? Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Went down with the ship. It's perfectly fine. I even got a perfect bonus. Cool. So now you get to see how Taizo Hori gets things done, as opposed to his son, Mr. Driller. Mr. Driller is all about, you know, public opinion, looking nice, not blatantly inflating monsters and killing them horribly. Some people say that's best left in the 80s. Well, Mr. Dig Dug knows better.
I like that you're kind of a huge asshole.
And Mr. Driller plays a big role in this game. It's just you don't get to play as him. He's just part of the story. Did you know there was so much drama in the Mr. Driller family?
I did not. It sounds like there's a lot going on, and I really don't need to get myself involved.
Mm-hmm. They have problems. There's divorces. There's familial jealousy. There's Taizo just refusing to listen to anyone and just being like, I can do this. I'm the Dig Dug guy.
I just get the feeling that if you were to go over to Mr. Driller's house, like Susumu's house, you know, as a kid, and go over to play, it would have the most cursed atmosphere.
It would, yeah. Everyone just kind of snapping at each other. Well, it looks like Driller's suiting up, so maybe you do eventually get to play as him. I never got far in this game. But I think it's neat.
This is cool.
It combines a couple of old arcade games, and it adds this ridiculous story about Dig Dug just being upset that his son is so much more popular. I just think that's kind of a neat metatextual kind of thing.
It's wonderful.
It makes the story a little bit more interesting. So what we've been leading up to is these are all the portable and console retail releases for Mr. Driller, except for one. The magnum opus of the series, supposedly, is Mr. Driller Drill Land for Nintendo GameCube. That game for many years was exclusive to Japan, and it was only after a lengthy public outcry that it was finally ported and localized for English release for Nintendo Switch. And guess what we're going to play? That. Any second now. Okay, Alex, which buttons do I push?
Okay. Go all the way. See where it says RetroPals BG. Hit that.
All right.
Now, put on all the ones that say 16 by 9.
Do I need to unclick these?
Yes. Unclick those. That one, that one, that one, that one. And then all the 16 by 9 ones. Scroll up. Scroll up.
Uh-huh. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
All the 16 by 9 ones?
And then 16 by 9. There you go.
And then we can just do this? Mm-hmm. Oh my god, the text is huge in the text box.
It is! Well, it'll just have to be huge.
Cool. Let's start the game. Give me 1 second here.
It's readable, at least.
It is.
Oh, I should have adjusted that. Thank you, everyone talking in all caps. That makes it better. Did not know it was going to be that huge, but I kind of respect it.
You gotta hand it to him. Okay, where's this gameplay screen?
That would be Abermedia, yeah. Scroll down, and...
Hey, there it is.
There you go.
Hey, don't look at my games. Okay, I gotta do the game name. Wow, this is actually gonna work. Mr. Driller Drill Land, brought out for Nintendo Switch in 2020. So still fairly recent. And now we finally got to the game that people wanted to see us stream. Danny has games. You didn't see anything. You didn't see shit.
No, Danny doesn't have games. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm like the PS3. I got no games.
No one look at Danny's games. They're private.
Yeah. Hey, here we are. Look at this.
What the fuck?
Distinctly different gameplay shift, apparently, for this entry in the Mr. Driller series. Here you go, Alex. You read this.
All right.
Make sure you go to, what does that say? Section 19. Alex, head to Section 19.
All right, that's the class action waiver, baby. Section 19 is the dispute resolution. You got mandatory binding arbitration, and unless you submit a proper opt-out notice in strict compliance with Section 19C, you and BNEA agree that any claims against the other party will only be conducted through mandatory... I missed it. Doesn't matter. You know what? Can I accept this?
Have you read it all?
France. I read the last word, so that counts. France.
France.
France!
So all this applies to us and it's fine? Yeah, hit decline. I'm not agreeing to this. Hit minus on the big controller.
Wait, for real?
Yeah. God damn it. They got us dead to rights. We can't start the game unless we agree to their horrible EULA. Alright, I guess we're playing the... Hey, wait a minute.
And this is their privacy policy.
Alex, please review the privacy policy before we go on, I guess. Does it look good?
Yeah.
What else we got? Oh, we can play the game now. Hey! Check it out! It's Drill Land!
Underground theme park? Sounds like a good way to asphyxiate carbon monoxide your entire life.
No one asked you, Alex. No one asked you.
Build 500 meters underground
Just because you
kingdom.
watch Defunct Land doesn't mean you have some kind of expertise.
I read a book about crowd safety. Doesn't that count for anything?
No. The Lone Wolf Rebel.
Who's that? Their name is Warrior. Are they related to us?
I think so, actually. There's a robot. Horingur Zeddo. The infamous speaking dog whose intelligence knows no bounds.
I love Poochie.
And the hero of the driller world. It's all been leading up to this. All those games you just saw. Look at him. He's in 16 by 9 now, baby.
He looks beautiful. Fluid?
With an umlaut?
I'm sorry, but if I saw a theme park designed by a man called Fluid, I would think I would die. That is the name of someone who runs a music festival where people die, not the name of someone who designs a theme park.
Oh, the tragic tale of the Drillland 20. We won't forget. Oh, and Taizo's here too.
He really likes to try to push himself into things, doesn't he?
He really does. Does not like to be left out. I kind of like this janky layout with all the characters overflowing.
It is a little janky.
I like it.
I will adjust chat next time.
And we get to see the lyrics now. Is it about how cute he is?
Is it?
He's all like, check out his bangs, they're really cool. There's a rival driller. Oh, look how HD this is. This is so high res, I'm gonna throw up.
Folks, we have a guest. That's right.
Oh no. You better pet that cat.
Yeah, you have to pet Ness in your eyes or else you will freak out. I just don't trust this designer. I'm sorry.
You don't? A good intro. They pretty much stopped making Mr. Driller games after this one, when it was originally released in like 2004 or whatever. Because, I mean, where can you go from here? This game, by all accounts, is perfection.
I love this.
And it finally got released here in the States, and I'm playing it for the first time. I bought this game a few weeks ago, but didn't get a chance to play it.
This is your first time playing it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we're getting a live Danny reaction here.
Yeah. Oh, there's a casual mode. And you can just do the original. Man, let's see what they do to casual mode. I'm kind of curious. Welcome to Fantastic Underground.
I want to go. You know, I bitched about this theme park. I just don't think it would have good evacuation procedures if you're 500 meters underground.
That's why Susumu's there.
Oh, fine.
もう仕事終わりじゃないの？
バイト代いらないならもう帰ってもいいぞ。
さて仕事に取り掛かるぞ。
早速ドリルランドへ行ってみよう。でもどうやって行くわね？ドリルランドへようこそ。あ、皆様招待状をお持ちですね。ではこちらへどうぞ。
God, this is beautiful. Why did they do the darkening things in the corners? It makes me feel like my cataracts are acting up. Is that for real or is it just on the capture?
It's for real. It's for real.
Why though?
I don't know.
どこまで降りていくんだろう。
Alright, I'm gonna let the cat out.
Okay, so you're... Drillers Association in the Underground Kingdom. Okay, so this is like a Reedy Creek situation.
We're hoping to prevent a tragedy on the scale of Action Park.
I just hear underground theme park, and I just think
これ面白
disaster.
そうだ
I'm
ね
sorry.
入ってみる？何々参加できるのはお一人様です。
Yeah, it's just like Elden Ring. Tunnel vision for Mr. Driller. I guess that's it. That's accurate.
しかも参加っていうか実際に挑戦するらしいよ。仕事でもないのに無駄に体を動かすってのもなんだな。
Exactly.
まあいいじゃないの。せっ
Ah,
かく来た
come
ん
on,
だ
you
しさ。
freaking edgelord.
I don't know. I feel the same way about all these new theme park rides where it's like, oh, you have score attacks and you have to like raise your score and the gamification of rides. It's like, no.
Game, what are you doing? Oh, kill! Fucking kiss my ass. This is not a venue to advertise your fly-by-night online
The
service.
whole of Druaga?
Yes, Alex. There is a Druaga spin-off in this. Let's go ahead and get that started. The whole of Druaga.
じゃあ僕しかできないね。ん？あと男性の方を一人連れてきてくださいだって。進むはあれいない。まあ。
The second he hears the word Druaga, he just takes off.
これ面白そう。
進むいいから来て。
ちょっとどこ連れて行くのさ。
Yeah, I hope the Quax is here.
地下に潜む悪魔を倒す。今とは別の時間。
They went
別の
and
世界
fucking
の
did it.
物語。
There's a Mr. Driller themed Tower of Druaga spin-off called The Whole of Druaga.
I love this. This is good. Whole of Druaga.
Demon Draga's back. Oh my god. This is bringing back so many stream memories. We're gonna be here like 5 hours. The game's gonna send me back 20 levels for doing something wrong. This is where the drill stones come in. I believe they were introduced here in the Whole of Druaga.
The whole of Druaga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every time you dig, you lose 1 HP. So that mode in the Euro Drill Spirits was taken from this.
So interesting.
This looks like a lot to take in. There's a map. There's an inventory screen. Of course, you gotta face off against Druaga. Let's do it.
よし行くぞ。
And because your health doesn't tick away all the time, you can actually take your time with this. Did you hear the Druaga sound effect?
Oh yeah.
Man, the soundtrack in this game is amazing. You'll hear it in a second. Look, there's enemies.
It's just a little guy.
How do you take these on? Can you just... No, don't do it. Don't do it like
Don't
that.
do that.
Whatever that was, don't do it. Okay, we're good. Got him. This. Man, I'm so glad this is in English now. I had real trouble with this mode in particular when trying to play the GameCube version. Because it's
I
all
would
text.
imagine this would be impossible without English.
No!
No.
I was waiting for it to die. Oh, does it give you infinite lives in this casual mode? That's pretty cool.
That'd be nice.
I mean, not everyone is up to the horrifying challenge of a Tower of Druaga spin-off. Can you blame them?
There's an entrance up there.
Oh, did I miss the entrance? Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's little hallways you can go out through, but you can miss them if you're not paying attention. Where's the map button? There's the map button. Look at this, they turned Mr. Driller into a dang dungeon crawler.
This is so cool.
Oh yeah, here's the eggs. They can, I think they like roll. Right? Or something? I don't know.
Well, the egg's gone.
I'm no driller expert. All I know is you drill the egg and you eat it. Yeah, you won't be able to beat this now that you missed one entrance. Sorry. Look at that little wizard.
Cool wizard, kill it. That's right.
Alex has become bloodthirsty.
I have become Tyson Fury, bloodthirsty, disgusting, and unfortunately divorced.
You're willing to take your cosplay that far?
It's pricey, but it's...
I mean, just get a fake drill and a jumpsuit. You don't gotta divorce me.
Hey, this rules.
This does rule. You can see why people consider this the magnum excuse me, the magnum opus. The magnum opa series. No! I missed it! Make more things fall so I can... Oh. I blew it. That's true.
Oh, okay, just take you there.
If you pick the same part, you can start from the top. Look at this jazz fusion symphony going on back there. Yeah, the game's just quietly, unassumingly being a musical masterpiece, in addition to being a really good game.
So you gotta get the key first.
Okay, have you seen...
Get that key, and the key's at the bottom.
The key's at the bottom, okay. That's right, you probably can't open this. Nope.
Or you can, never mind.
And now with casual mode, you too can beat this game. I don't know, I thought the GameCube one was actually pretty hard. You actually do have to be good at Mr. Driller to progress through these modes. And you return to all these attractions multiple times, and they get tougher each time. It's something they clearly took inspiration from Universal Studios for GameCube. Damn it. Let's work. That's the key, right?
Yes.
Let's go use the key. Now, from this point on, there were several other Mr. Driller games released that we can't cover during this stream because of scope creep. I had to stop. I had to stop at some point. But there are games released for mobile phone platforms. There's a WiiWare version. There's a DSiWare version. And there's one for Xbox Live Arcade, which I actually have, and never got the online to work, ever. So that was pretty cool. Killed the shit out of that wizard.
That wizard's dead!
So many times they brought it back, never as aggressively innovative as this one game, though. The other re-releases that happened... There he is!
Oh my god!
There's our boy, the Quox!
Chat, look at Quox!
Okay, we're gonna be a mini driller, and we're gonna gain some HP. Oh,
baby!
He stood at attention like a little puppy. How do I kill this thing? Is that good? Look, I don't want to do it. Oh, he's freaking out. You know what? I like this better than Tower of No! Okay, how do we get out of this? Is there anything I can use to get me out of this?
Unfortunately, warp. But
mini driller. Fuck, it was worth a shot.
now you gotta use warp.
Yeah.
I don't like the Quox corpse.
Despite your feelings on Tower of Jiraga, you may end up liking this, even if you don't like either Mr. Driller or Jiraga. It's a neat little combination. And the fact that it's the first thing the game guides you to should tell you a lot about how much focus they put on it.
I love the way you just murdered that guy.
Mm-hmm. Alright, we need some health. So it's an inventory-based dungeon crawler. If you were really stretching things, you could call this a roguelike if you wanted to. But do you want to? That's the question. No! There you go. That's how you do it. This is how we drill it. I did it. Uh-oh.
There's Draga.
Oh, shit. Forgot about having to fight this guy. Man, he's just out of reach.
I like some of the gems.
Ooh, right. Yeah, if he's placed over these. I see.
With a shot.
Clearly the thing I was thinking was not the solution here. Look at all that red. Any pros out there want to tell me what to do here?
You have to use the destroyed driststones of the same color Draga is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Now I understand.
Okay.
Well, now you know the secrets of solving the whole of Jiraga.
The whole of Draga!
The whole of Jiraga. It's actually called that. Thank you, Shy, for the 19 months.
Oh, thank
Just over
you.
17 months during the stream. Very cool. That's a lot of months. Let's go back to the guide map. Let's go to the Drill Land Dreamin' Parade. You'll never guess what this is inspired by.
Time for the nighttime parade, baby.
Ooh.
Who's that guy?
He's Cowboy Driller. Yeehaw.
Who are they?
March, march, keep on marching. No!
No.
Don't bridge those universes. That is a cursed combination.
Who's that guy?
Oh, he's huge.
Again, I just don't trust the evacuation procedures for a theme park 500 meters underground. I'm sorry.
Oh, look how pretty it is.
Quacks!
Look at that big ass neon
Look at
quacks. Am I supposed to? I was fucking up the parade somehow.
Hey,
I don't know what I was
thank you.
doing. Yeah, it's looking like you can mess with the speed. That's cool.
Cool Draculas.
You can whistle. Hang on. Oh, I thought that would make him go really fast. Let's pick it up. Let's pick it up, folks.
This parade sucks, Danny.
Hey,
You're fired from Trillerland, Austin.
get Morbius from the movie.
It was Morbius.
I'm sorry, everybody. I've ruined everyone's trip to Drill Land. You've been waiting all year for this. You saved up your money.
This was a $20,000 trip, Danny.
I know y'all don't come here to see weird fucked up clown music. Or hear it, or whatever you do to music. We did it. I think. let's do that.
さあどこに行くのか
Well, we have the World Drill Tour, of course. Why are you laughing?
対象誰でも OK
It looks like Small
何
World.
もできるのが
It's Small World.
No!
他のってで
They
きないの
just did Small World.
It's a drill world after all. That's the song.
他のは全部身長制限に引っかか
What are
る
you,
わ
one of those Mandela
それ
effect
犬
freaks?
だしな
I suppose.
意味をバカにしたわね
Suppose I am. Yeah, that's right. Don't make fun
冗
of
談
dogs.
だよほら行こうも
God, imagine taking the whole driller family to this amusement park.
うドリルを手に世界一周の旅に出かけましょう
Dad's always like, where's my amusement park?
ようこ
This one, you can pick a character. You can be all these dudes, and I think it's about time. It's about time we give Taizo Hori his due.
Dad.
He digs extremely quickly.
行くのだ
He's suitable for advanced drillers.
よっしゃ
Oh, this is a baby stage. Look how wide the well is.
よっしゃよっしゃ
Bye, Dad.
He got what he deserved.
よっしゃよっしゃ
Oh yeah, it's disco time.
よっしゃよっしゃよっし
Here
ゃ
comes the music.
よっしゃ
Just you wait.
Germany, baby.
よっしゃ
Babies in Germany.
よっしゃ
It has a children's vocal theme.
Of course.
よっしゃ
You see what I mean? Like, where do you go from here? There is no more Mr. Drillers you can make after this game. No, let's do that again. Come on. We can do way the fuck better than that. And it keeps the old drum and bass
I'm
theme.
glad it keeps that.
Yeah, at least get this game's soundtrack. It is by Go Shina, a Namco in-house band member, I think he is. Very good tracks on this album.
We are being asked to showcase credits.
Okay, let's do that after we show off all the different places you can go. You know, it's been a long time since I've listened to this soundtrack, but now I really want to again. It's just so good.
It is good.
He says. You think I'd be better at this game after playing 20 different versions of it, but not so.
It's weird that they made a theme park that only appeals to Mr. Driller's family.
Well, he's just that popular.
I mean, I know about mobile games marketing themselves towards whales, but it seems like a little... But like, this family is so dysfunctional, they absolutely love this theme park because they're gonna try to fix things through...
Yeah, this is how we fix it, through our own personal theme park.
More families right. Only drilling in Brazil.
Yeah, it brings us all together. I think after playing all these games, we see where the family's problem stems from. By which I mean, it's just one person.
It is!
And we're playing as him.
I mean, you know, I know that they have problems, but I have to say, Mr. Drillers does seem very well adjusted.
He's alright. He made it work.
Dad.
Yeah.
Anybody go to Drillerland?
They paved over it. It's a Knott's Berry farm now.
They'd never make another Knott's Berry farm. My dreams don't come true. Come on.
Can you imagine a second Knott's Berry farm based on Mr. Driller? It's underground. Well, that's another attraction I failed. Let's go see another one. Even on the freaking casuals mode. Star Driller.
There's a lot of modes here.
There are. There's even a bunch of multiplayer modes, which I'm not going to have time to get into. This is the driller to get, in other words. And it regularly goes on sale on the eShop. I got this copy for like $7, so that's pretty good.
That's nice.
じゃあ行ってきます
Yeah, in the store it's currently full price, but they have sales every so often. Remember to hold your breath in space. Taiso, you fucking idiot.
へご招待スタードリラーへようこ
Let's patrol the space.
そよし行くぞ
I really appreciate there's a different UI for every game too.
I did too. They put in so much effort into this game.
I think Katamari era Namco is really underrated as far as different Namco eras go.
I'm with you. I absolutely love the
They
early
were
2000s.
They were on top of that shit. And we didn't even appreciate it back when it was new. If only we knew.
We were like, oh, this sucks. Where's the gray and brown?
More gray and brown, please. That was my review of Katamari.
It was... You were lambasted for that one.
Where's the fucking guns? I thought I was speaking for the American public, but...
I do think Katamari should have a gun.
Yeah, it would make that so much easier.
Princess Fate, like, King is like, hey, you don't kill him.
I fell into a black hole!
よし行くぞ
No! Poor Mr. Driller.
He died.
I'm gonna hold your breath. Drill Town.
ここにしよ
Collect
Oh,
all the
it's
cards
just
and
Main
brag to your
Street.
friends. It's just
Look, here's the entrance to the park where all the things are.
There's that little theater you can duck into, and it has all the classic Mickey Mouse cartoons.
I love that theater. You can bring ice cream into that theater. It's why it's so good.
Yeah.
All movie theaters should let you bring ice cream in from outside. I know that technically all movie theaters can let you do that, but it's depending on how good you can sneak, and I'm not really good at sneaking ice cream places.
うですか
Oh, you can get so many boxes. Let's get the miniature model of Jiraga.
ありがとうございましたまたどうぞ
Alright, let's go home and open it up.
いらっしゃいませ。ドリラーカードはいかがですか？
Let's buy a card pack, too. Oh.
It's Keel Sark!
It's Bacteria. It's Dr. Manhole.
Dr. Manhole! Dr. Manhole's here! Hey,
Okay,
Dr.
that just hit me like a slap to the face. Wow. Dr. Manhole.
ありがとうございました。
No, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I don't need any more cards after Dr. Manhole. Christ almighty. Oh, there's probably some kind of home. Okay, we got 2 more places to look at, and then we can view the credits, and then we can all go home and go to
冒
sleep.
険者の挑戦を待つだって
ここは世界中を飛び回っているわし
Shut up,
しか
Dig
い
Dug.
ないな。
No one
そうだね。
cares.
では行ってくるぞみんな。うわ
What an asshole.
ヘルメット
おおう
大丈夫なんかな
It's fine. Dad's fine. Dad's just gonna die.
ドリンディアドベンチャーへようこそ。
It's time to be
James!
Drindy James. No telling what the influence for this was. We may never know. This one's a little different. It's more focused on the environment. There's boulder traps and things like that. You get gold. Oh, this is the mode with the rolling boulders. Okay, that's what I was thinking of all this time. Yeah, so it's a little bit of Mr. Driller meets Spelunky. Is what this is.
No! Oh, you got smushed.
Big time smush. Run, run, run. No! God, this shit's tense.
I like the music.
Yeah, me too. Again, 10 out of 10 soundtrack. Highly recommend.
Barely survived that one.
I did, yeah. The boulder was starting to roll. I can't continue after that. That was embarrassing. Ugh. Anyway, last area is the horror night house.
心臓の弱い方お断りか。
怖いのかな、出るのかな。
相当怖いんじゃないの？
It's probably super scary.
けだらしね。そんなの俺が言ってやる。おお、さすがは我が息子。
Wait, that's also
探すんじゃねえ。
なん
relate?
か正し書きが
So,
Is that...
that's their brother?
Maybe it's stepbrother. Maybe he remarried and had another kid. Or it could have been out of wedlock. I was about to say drill lock, but that's a bridge too far. So here's a theme park land where everybody's dead.
Cool.
You gotta drill in to figure out what happened.
Yeah,
There's
just
holy
hold
water.
on blocks. Normal.
Yeah, normal stuff. That's what holy water does.
Oh.
It turbocharges the blocks. I guess any other company would have spun off all of these games to their own product and released them separately. A lot of these games could stand up on their own with a little bit of padding, but that's not what they did. They just put them all in this one GameCube game, and it became the ultimate Mr. Driller experience for many years. So much so that it still is, since that's the one they re-released. These bats are freaking loud. They're drowning me out. Anyway, super glad that this is all in English now. I was so confused with Drill Land on GameCube. Also, if you want to play the original GameCube version, keep in mind you need a Japanese console to play it. You can play it on an American console, but you cannot save. It is one of the few games for GameCube that just goes completely apeshit with memory cards from different regions. And just a warning, if you try to save your game on a US memory card, it will wipe that card and not save your game. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, here on Switch, I don't think that that's a problem. I think they solved the memory card issue here on Switch. Big improvement, in my opinion.
I like that you're saving memories. Yeah. Nice.
It is really nice they did that. It's a spooky story. Your save data may get erased. Don't put in your Phantasy Star Online card.
You can also use the holy water to defeat the ghosts.
I could do that.
Yeah, but
Or we could end the stream. Let's see the credits.
you might need to bring up the credits in a YouTube video. We might not have it here.
No, come on.
Sorry.
Damn it. I'm not bringing up no YouTube video.
Sorry, folks.
Instead, what I'm gonna see is my goods.
Oh, that's so cool.
Look at that. It's a little miniature Tower of Jiraga.
And it's got a clock next to it.
Oh, that's handy.
You'll always know it's 19.
Here in Mr. Driller World, it is always 19. There you go. That is something like more than a dozen Mr. Driller games. More drilling than you could ever deal with in your entire life. What are our thoughts about what we've seen? What do you think, Alex?
I love the aesthetic of the Mr. Driller series. I really, really love it.
Yeah, it came by at just the right time to capitalize on that year 2000 aesthetic that was so common in PS2 launch games. But I think Mr. Driller did it a lot better than any of those games. You see stuff like Cosmic Smash and Fantavision, and then you see that next to Mr. Driller Drill Land, and you're like, holy shit, they went to extremes for this. And that's what we do here on Retro Pals. We go to extremes for you. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
I'm done here. That's it.
And there's Mr. Dig, our man.
Freaking Mr. Dig. Yep, this has been a big celebration of your friend and mine, Mr. Dig. Thank you, Mr. Dig. And thank you to all of our Thank you, Alex. And thanks to all of our patrons who made this show possible. This is a patron-supported show, and every week we have polls that go up that determine the fate of our Wednesday streams. You can join in at patreon.com/retropals. Alex is here to tell you more about it.
Before I do, I want to thank 68K Hart for the 24-month reset. That's 2 whole years. Thanks for the stream and for the past 2 years, pals.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, if you want to support us directly, you can go to patreon.com/retropals, pitch in at least $5 a month, and you get to vote on what we stream every Wednesday. This week you were like, if I don't see Mr. Driller Drill Land, I'm going to die. So we saved your life, so you owe us.
Wow, that was pretty extreme.
I go to extremes. We are also on Twitter, twitter.com/retropalshq. We post when we go live there. We've got new videos up on YouTube and all that good stuff. So do check out our Twitter if you'd like. And last but not least, we have a Discord. Let me throw that up. Boop. There it is. There's that bad boy. Join our Discord for more fun chat, cool cat pics, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. Thank you, Alex. Okay, I'm going to raid Swirl Drop, who is celebrating their 1-year anniversary of streaming here on Twitch. Go congratulate them. Go have a good time. They're there with all the other Pop and Start stars. Your favorites, Foxandra, Margot, Maruni. They're all here. They're all having a party for you.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to raid them. So enjoy that. Have a good rest of your evening. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching.
See ya, folks.